Hello, and welcome to this Untamed screencast. Today we're going to be going over how to create a custom and dynamic contact page using Twitter Bootstrap and a few of our favorite Bootstrap techniques, including icons, buttons, the hero unit, Bootstrap forms, and embedding a custom Google map right into the page. So let's get started coding. This is our standard starting point for beginning with Bootstrap. And if we take a look at the code, we can see exactly that we have our Bootstrap head, along with the title, a little bit of style just to clear the body away from the header, and a container. So we can get started coding by adding our code within the container and right before this horizontal row before the footer. So our first step, whenever we're nesting any kind of divs in Bootstrap, will be to create a row. This will allow us to use the grid, so the scaffolding with Bootstrap. And always be sure to comment out any of your areas so you know if you need to delete something that you're deleting the right thing. And next, we will need to create our two separate sections. And so to do that, we'll use exactly that, the section tag. And rather than doing anything else, we will simply duplicate that. And let's make sure they're working by putting some test text. So we'll just say left, since this will be on the left side, and right. And let's make sure that it renders correctly. So if we refresh, yep, we have that, left and right, and you can see there's that margin right in between. So these should go responsive, and they do. And now they stack into mobile. Perfect. Alright, so we'll make that larger again, and we'll get started on the actual contact page itself. So our first section to go over will be the hero unit. I'm going to copy and paste some text in here, and then we can go over it. So right above our two sections, we will want a full width hero unit. To do that, just simply create a div with the class of hero unit. I inserted a heading 1 tag with let's keep in touch, and a p class of tagline. You don't really have to do the tagline class, but I like to, in the case that you want to modify that p to any of your style liking, and just put a small message into there. So next we are going to deal with our left section of our page. First of all, let's take a look at what this looks like in the browser. And if we refresh, there we are. We have our hero unit, nice big text, and our tagline. And so that looks good, and that'll help balance out the rest of the page as we keep on going down. So next we can put our form in. And you can go to Twitter Bootstrap and select any of your own form elements and simply paste them in. But we'll go over this form in more detail, and if you would like to use this as a contact form within your own site, feel free. Okay, so let's go over this form. We have opened up the form with a simple form tag. We have control groups, which we nest labels and inputs within. I have added an I class of, let's take this away and we can show you what it looks like dynamically. So if we just save this, we can see that our form, we do have icons here, but let's put this icon back in. So if we bring our code back over, we'll simply create an I with a class of icon user. And it's important to leave a space here because this almost acts like a span. So the icon will be right next to that name if you don't do anything about it. So make sure and leave a space right into the HTML there, and we'll save. So once we refresh, we can see that our user icon has rendered correctly next to the full name. Moreover, we have added a button. I like a green button on a contact form. It's kind of clickable. It's nice to use and look at with a simple message of send message. Within these text areas, something to keep in mind is our use of the input XX large. Since these are span 6s that we are taking advantage of across the page, it is just nice to have a larger input area to balance out the page and not have too much space that is left unused. We have placeholder elements. Twitter Bootstrap natively supports placeholders as well as most modern browsers. And so it's just useful to use placeholders to give your customers or visitors an idea of what they need to be doing within these fields. So we'll refresh, and there we are. And we still have the right, so everything is still aligning. And we will move over to the next section. Alright, so first we will begin inputting our Google Map with a div with a class of well. Now you don't need to add a specific span because as a div element it'll automatically take up 100% of the area that is surrounding it, and what we're surrounding it with is a span 6. So we will end our well, and I'll add a little note that it'll also be our map. Good. Okay, so now we can go grab a Google Map. So to do that, let's just add a map. Let's see. Let's go to New York. New York. So this is a pretty simple thing. We're not doing an exact address, but you absolutely could. If you'd like to embed a Google Map, simply click the link button, and let's grab this HTML to embed in the website. And you can see this is about what it'll look like, but we're going to change the code within this just a little bit to make sure that it remains responsive. So we will copy that code down. We'll head back over to our page and right back into our code. So within this code, simply paste the iframe code within this, and also make sure, I like this height, the 350 height is good, but I do want to change this width to 100%. And so it will remain responsive no matter how wide or small any one element may get. You don't want the iframe to override a small iPhone screen. You still want to be able to use that element. So we'll keep that at 100%. Let's save and take a look at it. And we'll refresh. And you can see here we do have our Google Map, but we do have a little bit more that I'm not a giant fan of, because if we do want to view it on a larger map, we could always just simply click into this address and go straight to the Google Map itself. So let's take away that small code there. And you can see it is wrapped in a small tag. And it's pretty easy. So we have a line break here. Let's just take out everything past that, including the small, and we'll save. And let's refresh. And there we are. Now we're back and even all the way around. And then we just conclude with our horizontal row and our footer. Now let's take a look and make sure that this is responsive. So we'll take our browser. Down. Looking good. And now we are fully responsive all the way down, including our 100% map. See, this is this is a whole lot more pixels than just 425, I do believe. Yep, that is 701 pixels. So that was important for us to have the 100% width. And as we size down, it will dynamically change with us. And there we are, a dynamic and responsive contact page using Twitter Bootstrap as a base. Now feel free to use this code within your own projects or anything that you would like. Thanks for watching.